This is the ShockWiz, a small electronic device that will tell you exactly how to set up your fork and rear shock. With a few zip ties, it comes along for the ride, recording every detail of your suspension's character. And that way you won't need to be like me, fiddling with every button, tab, and knob on your suspension. An easy-to-use app tells you everything you need to know. And after the setup, which we'll go through later, you'll see a few stats about your suspension on the homepage, like air pressure and shock travel. Below that, you'll see your suspension's overall tune score. Mine's at 84. Not bad. Next, it'll recommend what you should ride next. And since I've already done a few laps, I'm all good. Finally, at the very bottom, you have battery voltage, calibration status, and most importantly, confidence level. This is how sure ShockWiz is that the recommendations are correct. It's recommended that you achieve a confidence level of at least 50% before making any changes. I just wait till it's 100. After a few rides, you'll be able to check out the Suggestions tab. This is where you'll find all the recommended changes for your fork or shock. After this ride, it recommended I make my fork a bit softer. And as you can see here, it recommends about a 5% reduction in air pressure. Moving to the second suggestion, it's telling me to slow down my rebound a small amount. Here we see it recommends 1 or 2 clicks. The final suggestion is to adjust my high-speed compression, which I'm unable to do on my Lyric, so I'll ignore it. The next tab tells you if your suspension is exhibiting any poor behavior, like pogoing, packing, bottoming, bobbing, or bouncing. Looks like I'm all good. The final tab tells you the fun statistics, like how many jumps you've done, your air time, your sag, and how much gnar you've shred. Now let's talk about setup. I decided to tune my fork first. I began by zip tying the ShockWiz to my fork in a place where it wouldn't make contact with any part of my bike or fork. I used the provided air hose to attach the ShockWiz to my fork, and we're almost ready to go. First, we need to open the app and connect to my ShockWiz, which is named BKXC. For those of you wondering, this is in fact Brian's ShockWiz. I robbed him at knife point. From there, we choose the type of tune we'd like. In my case, I went with the neutral and poppy. It seemed like a safe bet. Next, I removed all the air from my fork and let the ShockWiz record a few values by cycling the suspension. It records values at full compression and extension as well. Finally, we pump up the fork to the recommended setting and cycle it a few times, letting the ShockWiz check things out. We're 99% of the way there. Before the ride, we push start a new session, delete any data the ShockWiz has already recorded, and now we're ready to ride. Let's go. I think that's it for today. Apparently I haven't been riding enough. Can't even take it easy. Ugh. Alright, so it's the next day and it's raining out. This is really just my second lap because after I fell I just came home. I was all bruised up. Decided just to take it easy. So I'm gonna go for a ride now and do kind of the more cross-country trails that have a bit of downhill, a bit more pedaling. And the ShockWiz right now has a 50% confidence level, which I'm guessing that's not good, but I don't really know how much confidence I need. Right now, there's not really any suggestions except for change my high-speed compression, which I can't do with my Lyric. I can only do low-speed compression and rebound, and air pressure and volume spacers. I'm just going to keep riding and see what the ShockWiz tells me. So far, I know exactly what I'm doing. Somehow. Apparently. Okay, let's go. So this is the ride I do when I don't feel like pedaling all the way up the hill. It's got some more cross-country trails. The finish is with a tiny bit of downhill, and hopefully I get enough data for the ShockWiz. Shock tuning score 86. Confidence level, so we don't want a confidence level below 50. We're at 49 right now. Guess we keep riding. So it wants me to remove more air now, add a volume spacer, and make the high-speed compression way better, which I can't do. Interesting. So it's changing. Confidence level 49% though. Guess we keep riding. I think I'm gonna go home for dinner and I'll do another lap and set up the shock tomorrow and this weekend. All right, see you guys then. So after doing one downhill lap, one pedally cross-country lap, we're still at 49% confidence. And not too much in the way of suggestions anyway. Remove a bit of air, add a volume reducer. That is it. And after 4 laps, I finally got my 100% suggestions. The ShockWiz told me I should remove some air pressure and slow down my rebound. Also adjust my high-speed compression, but I can't do that. So, let's move on to the shock. I started by zip tying the ShockWiz to the shock, making sure that it wouldn't make contact with the frame or suspension. I then let all the air out of my shock and cycled it a few times, taking readings at full compression and when fully extended. Oh wow, okay, interesting. So after the climb, so baseline air pressure, you can't see it now, let's see, 209 psi, 208 psi. We're doing neutral poppy. My overall shock tune without me doing anything is 70%, which seems pretty good. We're at 99% confidence, and let's see, suggestions. Okay, we can get less air, we can slow down, we speed up the rebound, and make the compression softer. Well, I can't do that, but I can remove air and change the rebound. Detections, just some packing up going on. So that's what the rebound's going to help with. And statistics, nothing too interesting. Oh, look at that, 30% dynamic sag. I know how to set sag apparently very well. All right, 99%, that's pretty good, but let's see if we can get that up to 100%. Okay, so I made the changes to my shock, and I wanted to get out, try the whole new suspension setup, and of course it's pouring rain. But I want to try it. I want to see what the difference is. So I'm going to go over my little local quick downhill spot, see how it feels, and see if renting or buying a ShockWiz is worth it. So far, I'm thinking yeah. It definitely helps you tune your shock, lets you know what you probably should do, gives you a good, at least a good baseline to get started with. So let's go try these settings out. It's the middle of the day, but it's so dark out already. Jeez, I have to turn my lights on. So just to remind you, the only real recommendation it made for my shock was 2 more clicks of rebound, faster, just to stop it from packing up. New shock settings. And now a little bit of a climb, a little bit of a tech booty climb into my little North Road downhill. So let's try not to die on the slippery wood. Oh yeah. Wet and greasy. Woo-hoo. So what did I think of the ShockWiz? Well, I think it's an impressive product. It's easy to use, provides valuable information, and it's easy to understand. In my experience, it gave me a better feeling ride. The only real problem I see with it is the price. At $400, this once-a-year tool is a bit too much for me. That being said, I would definitely pay a small fee to rent one for the day, and I know a few shops that already carry them for this exact reason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video.